A story about Moses that promises deliverance, that God himself has come down to deliver. And we celebrate the memorial of Martin Luther King Jr., who took up the baton. Every generation needs a prophet to help resist oppression in the name of love. And here we are in turmoil and civil unrest. The psalm says, "The waters saw you, O God, the waters saw you and trembled. The very depths were shaken." I think we are in those waters now. Maybe we too are in the Red Sea. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was in the sea, and your paths in the great waters, yet your footsteps were not seen. Maybe these waters will part, and we will be born again, and we will be delivered. I thought I would share a few little stories of my own with you today, stories that promise deliverance and freedom from slavery and being born again of water and a Red Sea. From the first moment to the last, my senses were overwhelmed with the vivid, such that I was mesmerized and riddled with what felt like black skin envy, beauty and grace envy, splash and verve and posture and poise envy, confidence and carefree envy, real skin, rich skin. Oh, the people there. I was on pilgrimage to Cape Coast, land and sea both ravaged by slave trade and red water. I found myself wanting to be different than I am, become acceptable, become like these others, become more African. Then there was Lydia, the dressmaker. Bishop Victor hired her to make each one of us a new dress, a vibrant African fabrics of our own choosing. It was like being reborn, like fiber and fabric for a visibility cloak, being seen for who we are and how we are known in the world, our garments, our vestments, like the vesting room of the womb where we get our mother wrap for black skin or white or brown. They wrapped us in their fabrics as only a mother can do and gave us new skin of color and pattern and visual texture, like a return to mother's womb. We took off one skin and put on another and emerged newborn into the light. And the company of the women gathered on the other side of the door to catch us up in this delivery, to squeal as each of us materialized through the doorway, making our passage into new being with drama and flair, so that we could look like them. The graceful, beautiful, visual feast of the African women. We were born again, taking off the old and putting on the new. God's vestments of a mother's womb would wrap him in the deep skin of Middle Eastern people whose heritage was forged in slavery. A people who were born again of the Red Sea and waters parting. And this one of Nazareth, born to set his people free. Release to the captives, sight to the blind, the oppressed go free. We are the people of God. Deliverance and freedom is in our DNA. An African warrior was our guide on the day we went to this water called the Last Bath, a stream where the captives were scrubbed down before their purchase. He said that he had a gift for us, I wanted this gift, whatever it was. I wanted it. But first, our African warrior invited us to pour out a libation, a drink offering. He said, bring something back to the river. And with feverish passion, we poured from our silly plastic water bottles for this sacred ritual, and he honored it. He spoke of ancestors. He said, they are in this place, and we don't have to be afraid because this is sacred ground, and the ancestors are here protecting you. The ancestors keeping company with us, the saints in light, as we call it in the church. Their ancestors attached to place and experience, keeping sacred ground sacred by their holy presence. And he talked of a song of praise in thanksgiving to the ancestors for their lives laid down, given or taken, but as a holy sacrifice. Yes, a libation and a song of praise. Lift every voice and sing. He said we could ask something of the river and the ancients. That was the gift he was talking about, that we could ask something. I thought, I want something from Africa, from the heavy earth there and the bloodshed and sweat that seeps into the earth and makes it human, the earth alive, life-producing and fertile. I told the river and the heavy sodden earth of Africa, I want what you have. What he said you have, what I know you have. You have a song and a dance and a drumbeat in your soul. I can feel it. You have love and joy. It's what makes you able to live in community. You have the love and joy that it takes. I want that. He told us that slavery takes that away. He said you were hunters and farmers and artisans, and that you sing, and that we can tell by the way you walk that you can dance. But slavery makes you run and hide and enter the caves and deep forest. Because when you go to carry water and do your chores, you're ambushed and carried into captivity. So I said on this riverbank, Africa, African ancestors of humanity, I want your song and dance and drumbeat in my soul so that I can live in community with joy and to trust without fear of ambush. He said he would take us over to the other part of the stream and we could walk on gold. That there were flecks of gold in the stream and we could see them in this sacred ground and walk on them in the water. And we did. And we were all taking pictures of our feet bare and in the water and walking on gold. Gold in the river, flint chips of gold. And he said, only royalty walks on gold. And royalty has power. And that if we walk on gold, then we are royalty and we have power. And that we can want something and say what it is and ask for it, and that the power that he says we have in ourselves can bring about this freedom from slavery. This is where I asked Kathy to hold my watch and my phone just in case. I am always tempted in this way to get in the water. And I thought I should have her hold my stuff just in case I got in the water. So of course I did. The water, mind you, was only knee deep. We were all in it to see our feet on gold. But I wanted full immersion in this baptism. Excuse me. I closed my eyes, and just real quick and quiet, I slid down into it, entombed and weightless and letting go, freeing and giving up and suspended, carried and cruciform. Just for a moment, enough to get drenched through, immersed. I felt the moss and growing things on the rock the current pushed me up against. When I emerged, trying to be all nonchalant, thinking maybe no one had noticed, I joined the group as we clambered back out of the water, and suddenly I felt seen because Anne cupped my chin with both hands and kissed me on each cheek and said, "I love you." Just as we are wont to do with the newly baptized, the newborn, the precious face of Christ, the anyone, the ubiquitous human being born of water. I was shaking like a leaf uncontrollably, soulfully to the core, so much that the paraphernalia in my hand was clanking. Our African warrior said that we have power to make this wish happen. Cut myself loose, I guess he means. Free this slave in me. Make this happen, do this thing. Finally, at my age, to live differently, to be born again. Nicodemus asked the right questions. And the answer is yes, Nicodemus, back to the womb, new skin, be born of water and the Spirit. I don't know how to live differently, and I'm afraid to choose differently, to answer and respond with joy and love, because I'm afraid, hiding in caves and cut off from community seems oddly safer. I don't think I can work my way there with that power he talked about. I simply want the song and dance and drumbeat first to be born in me. It's too easy to stay angry, even to choose to be angry. Distant and afraid and cave-dwelling, safe but not safe. As we took wing on May 25th, my farewell note was so obviously in the Goodnight Moon nursery genre. Goodbye, West Africa. Goodbye, Ghana. Goodbye, Accra and Cape Coast. Bless me on my way. Give me your song and dance in my heart. Let me feel your drumbeat in my soul. Help me come out of the caves in the deep forest, that I might be capable of true community and live with hope and love and joy. Keep me with my white skin as your daughter. I bought a drum to bring home and a second small one, 2 drums. Maybe that will change me, restore my soul, drumming my way to new life. Maybe I can start with my own beating heart for being born again. Wouldn't that be good if we could all be born again? To take today to be born of Africa? Amen.